Hakuna Matata means no worries. That means I have zero worries that the Buckeyes will not be number one tonight. That's right, the very first college football rankings are coming out tonight. This is when things get a whole lot more serious, where the games matter a whole lot more. This is everything. This is the very first college football ranking playoffs. I fully expect, if the college football committee knows exactly what they are doing, if they paid attention to the actual games, the Ohio State Buckeyes, my team, our team, maybe not your team, I don't know, but Ohio State Buckeyes should be number one going in. Now, we're going to make the playoffs no matter what, but we're undefeated. We've beaten teams the way we should be beating them. So I fully expect this to be number one in the first rankings. And this is my reaction to the rankings. As soon as they bring them on, the very first rankings, I expect us to be number one. That's why I'm wearing this shirt, Hakuna Matata, because I have zero worries that will not happen. Wait. I have no worries I have no worries that we won't be number one. I fully expect us going into number one, into this first college football ranking playoff. The committee has been on and off for years, ever since the 4-team playoff. Last year, they even got some things wrong. So I'm hoping that they're actually watching the games and they're actually paying attention and they actually realize that the defending national champions, undefeated champions, deserve to be number one, and that is the Ohio State Buckeyes. So if they know their football, we should be number one, but I'm also curious to see who else is in the top 12. According to right now, because these aren't the final rankings, they're just the very first rankings, and it gives us an insight into what the college football playoff committee is thinking inside that room. And the games mattered, but now they really matter. Okay, the ladder, the bar, just been raised because of these rankings. I'm excited to see where do these other teams fall. Unfortunately, Navy probably won't be ranked in the top 25, even though I think they should because they have a decent season. They only lost one game, unfortunately. They lost to North Texas, though. That's a bad loss. So maybe they won't be in the top 25. Okay, I just respect our men and women in uniform, so I'm hoping that they're in the top 5. But I am curious to see how are they going to rank these other teams, right? The SEC is just a big, huge mess right now because what you got in the SEC is just teams beating up on one another. So how are they going to rank their teams down the list? I don't know. I don't really care. I'm just curious to see who else is going to be in the top 12 for this ranking. The final ranking, I believe, is going to be like 4 weeks away after the regular season and even after the championship games, which I really hope we get into the Big Ten championship game versus Indiana. Indiana is on a high horse right now. I think they're okay, well, maybe they're not. The 5 ranked highest conference champions get 1 through 5. I totally expect us to be number 1. There's no way in heck we are not number 1. There's no way. We're the best team in college football. We're undefeated. We're the national champs. We deserve to be number 1. There's no way. I'm hoping. Hakuna Matata, no worries. No worries, all right? We're going to be number 1 as long as the college football committee understands college football and if they have been watching the entire season. There's no way we're not going to be number one. So this ranking is semi-important. Obviously, the final ranking is the most important ranking, but this does give us an insight into that committee room. And I'm curious to see how the top 25 goes. And here they're already starting to reveal it. So let's go ahead and dig in. Tennessee with the 6-3 win-loss record is at 25. Pittsburgh, they're at 24, 7-2. I really don't care about the top 15. You can put whatever team you want to up there, okay? I'm more interested in 15 and below. Those are the teams I'm really care about. So Tennessee, Pittsburgh being up in there, yeah, whatever. You got Washington at 23. They're 6-2. Yeah, okay. Do any of these teams really have a chance to make the college football playoff? Tennessee, no. Pittsburgh, no. Washington, maybe. But at 22 is Missouri. And they're 6-2. They have 2 losses. I don't know. There are 2 losses. I don't really pay attention that much to the SEC. But so far, we're at 22. I'm interested to see what's going to happen from 15 and beyond. And at 21, they have that team up north. Are you serious? Well, that's good for us because when we play them, we'll be able to beat them and get that another ranked win underneath our belts. The AP poll is no longer needed. You throw that into the trash. These are the rankings that matter, and these are the rankings that will stay with your team. But how the heck is that team from up north in the top 20? Don't ask me, okay? I don't even think they belong in the top 25. But anyway, on top of them is Iowa with a 6-2 record. Okay, I really ain't paying attention to these teams. I watch the games, but listen, I'm focused on my team, all right? What do we need to prove on? But I fully expect us to be number one. We should be. But Iowa is sitting there at 20. Get that team up from north out of the top 25, okay? They don't deserve nowhere to be in the top 25. But again, that's just going to be a big, huge win underneath our belt. Not unless Ryan Day craps his pants. And at number 19 is USC. Ooh, USC fans are not going to be happy about that one, boy. Woo, I can already hear them yelling. Well, we deserve to blah, 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 blah. No, USC, okay, you lost. And number 18, right above them, is Miami. Miami went down last week. So they got upset. So they should be happy that they're number 18 at all. They should be happy. Their fans, their players, their coaches. Because the team that they lost to, they should have never lost to that team. So just them being at number 18, I mean, is like a breath of fresh air. And right above them is Georgia Tech. I think Georgia Tech needs to have more respect on their name. They only do have 1 loss in the season. They're at number 17. I would like to see Georgia Tech in the top 15. I'm not nitpicking. I'm just saying they probably deserve more respect than what they are getting from the committee. But at number 16, of course, you got the team that was on their high horse, Vanderbilt, okay, with their 2 little losses. Vanderbilt, I don't believe Vanderbilt is going to make the playoffs at all. Zero zitch, nada, no chance whatsoever. At 15, here is the top 15. We got Louisville. Shout out to Louisville, Kentucky. That's where my family reunion is. Not in Louisville, precise, but in Kentucky. So I'm happy to see Louisville made the top 15. And right above them is Virginia with also a 1-loss record. I guess, I mean, you could flip either one of those teams around, I guess, if you really wanted to. I don't know why this ain't working. All right, number 13 is Utah. And they got 2 losses. So I'm surprised that they're ahead of Louisville and Virginia. Honestly. I mean, I know you're going to have two lost teams up there no matter what, but I'm just saying, I think Louisville is way better team than Utah, and that's just not me being biased because my family reunion is up there, okay? So that kind of worries about what the top 10 is going to be like, but whatever. I guess Utah fans are going to be really happy. And up above them is Oklahoma. Oklahoma. So, starting from 12 down is the teams that would make the playoffs if the rankings were today. So, if the final rankings were right now, Oklahoma would be in at 12, and Texas would be right behind them at 11. But, honestly, I don't see Texas and Oklahoma making the playoffs. I think they're going to get another loss underneath their belt with their 4 games remaining. Now, I don't know who they play, but I see a loss for both of those teams in the future. And I feel like Louisville should have been ranked higher than Oklahoma and Texas and Virginia for that matter. So, a little bit worrisy about how they have this figured out. But it's only the first ranking, okay? So, I'm not going to get my panties in a bunch. I'm going to sit back and see, but here is the top 10. Bringing out the top 10 is Notre Dame. All right. Well, Notre Dame should be happy. I don't think they belong in the top 10. They really haven't beaten anybody. Have they even played anybody? I don't know. But I don't think they deserve to be in the top 10. But whatever, committee. I don't know what these people are doing, but all I know is we better see. Okay, so it looks like they did play Miami, but they beat Miami, right? And Florida State. Yeah, no, everybody's beating Florida State. That's no surprise there whatsoever. Who hasn't beaten Florida State? So now we're going to see who is at number 9 as soon as they bring it up. Curious to see who's going to be in that top 5. We should be number 1 though. Oregon. That's how I like to say their name. Oregon. With the 7-1, they still have a chance to make the Big Ten championship. Listen, we'll take anybody in the Big Ten championship game. Okay, we'll take Oregon and we'll take Indiana. Which Indiana is undefeated, so that's surprising within itself. So Indiana might be in the top 5. Do they belong in the top 3? No, they do not, because they're not a top 3 team. Let Indiana play us. Alright, we'll put them back in their place. We'll let them know where their place is in the college football world. But they are having a good season. I have to admit that. Because they are undefeated. So, hey, you win your games no matter how you win your game. A win is a win, even if it's just by 1 point. So, who's number 8 here? We're getting closer to the top 5, and I can't wait to see our team, the undefeated national champions, at number 1. Because that's what I fully expect. Hakuna Matata, no worries that we will be at the number 1 spot. Texas Tech is at 8. BYU, ouch. BYU is 8-0. They're also undefeated, and they're at number 7. Ooh, that's kind of an insult. I ain't gonna lie. If I was a BYU fan, I'd be mad. Like, put some more respect on our team's name, okay? But I guess it depends on who they have beaten. Because above them is Ole Miss. Ole Miss is having a good season. Lane Kiffin, everybody wants to hire Lane Kiffin because they're having a good season. So, who knows if he'll take the Penn State or LSU job. I think right now he's just focusing on just finishing off this season. Which he should be. But Ole Miss is having a decent year, but to be ranked above the BYU team that is undefeated, I don't know about that one. And at 5, the Ohio State other nemesis, Georgia. Georgia at number 5. Alabama at number 4. Ooh. Woo. And at number 3, dang, Texas A&M. That is also undefeated. Now, here's the 2 spots right here. Who's going to be number 2? Who's going to be number 1? Number 2 should be Indiana. Number 1 should be us. But I think BYU kind of is getting the short end of the stick here. I think they should be ranked above Alabama and the other team. But listen, the other team's name's they're not important. But Georgia, yeah. Okay, so yeah. So Indiana, they're also undefeated. I think BYU deserves to be ahead of Alabama and Georgia. And, of course, that leaves the best team in college football, the number 1 undefeated national champions, number 1, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Just like I said, Hakuna Matata, no worries over here. It looks like the college football committee actually were paying attention to the games and actually realized what college football is all about and actually realizes that we are the best team in college football. There's no surprises for me at this end as far as us being number 1. The only thing I don't like about the top 25 is, first off, I strongly believe if Navy would have beat North Texas, they probably would have been in the top 25, but they dropped out because of that terrible loss. There's nothing really to complain about this list for me personally, other than I think BYU is a better team than Alabama and Georgia. So I would like to see BYU ranked higher than Alabama and Georgia. And that's 3 teams in the SEC that are in the top 5. And only 2 for the Big Ten. So keep that in mind. I'm not saying there's like any favoritism there, but SEC biased? I don't know. Just put that out there however you want to, but right call by committee. First rankings are in. The rankings that we'll go with for the entire rest of the season. Every game is going to be so much elevated now. Nobody is going to want to lose because nobody's going to want to drop out of their top 12 rankings. It's going to be a wild weekend of college football and just going on forward throughout the rest of the season. We're in for a wild ride. These top 12 teams that are in right now probably going to be completely different next week. I can see some teams right now that's going to take an L. And if you want me to get more precise, I don't think Notre Dame is going to get in. I think they're going to take one more L this season. Even with BYU, I think BYU has a strong chance of getting in, even with a loss, depending on who they lose to and how they lose to that team. But I do think they will be not undefeated by the end of the season. If you're Alabama and Georgia, you're basically fighting every single game to stay in the playoffs. I don't think there's like a big, huge margin of error for any of those teams right there. But who knows? I could be wrong. The college football committee, they just do what they want anyway. But I am glad that they actually paid attention and they know who the best team in college football is. And that is the Ohio State Buckeyes, and I could not be happier. We're going to hold on to that number 1 spot. Listen, if you're a betting person, okay, you want to go ahead and bet a large sum of money on a team making the playoffs, put it all on Ohio State because that's a guarantee. We're going to make the playoffs every single year. It's just going to happen because we're just that good. Depending on where we're ranked now, I don't know. It depends on whether we have that 1 loss or the 2 loss. I don't think we get in with 3. 3 is kind of pushing it for us because we should not have 3 losses by the end of the season, right? But 2, we still get in. So, if you're a betting person, put all your money on Ohio State. And I would even go a step further. Listen, put all your money on Ohio State winning the whole shebang because we are going to win the whole shebang. We're the best team in college football. Point blank, period. I don't know how many times we got to say it. I don't know how many times we got to prove it. We prove it again and again and again. It's Ohio versus the world. It's always been that way ever since we started a football program at the Ohio State University. Nothing's going to change. We know people are out to get us, okay? And rightfully so. We're the champions. No, we're like Rocky Balboa in his prime. Adrian! But yeah, all I gotta say to the other teams, listen, if you playing us, bring your A game. That's all I gotta say. Because we got Heisman contenders all over the field. I'm happy with being number 1 spot. We're playing Purdue. That's another cupcake game right there. And I think I might do the cupcake thing, touchdown thing again, like I did for that earlier team that we don't even discuss. Because honestly, we shouldn't have been even playing that team. But that's the college football playoff rankings, folks. I'm happy with our spot, obviously, being the number 1. We should be number 1. We're the best team in college football. Okay? And other than I think BYU deserves to be ranked higher than Alabama and Georgia. I have 0 complaints about this ranking. Right? Because majority of these teams are going to lose it again anyway. So, this is just the first ranking, but these games, these last games of the season, they're going to be a lot of fun to watch. Yes, sirree. And I'm excited to watch some games down the forward. Really, there is no game left for us other than that team up north. And low-key, I don't think that team up north belongs in the top 25. But part of me does want them to stay in the top 25 only because when we beat them, hopefully, I got to throw in that hopefully now because for some reason that's Ryan Day's kryptonite. It'll be that much sweeter, you know. So for that reason, a little bit part of me hopes that team up north stays in the top 25. Now, do they belong in the top 25? Absolutely not. They're a garbage football team. There, I said it, because they are. The facts are the facts, and facts do not care about your feelings. But I'm happy with the number 1 spot. I expect us to be number 1 going into the final rankings as well. So, with that, guys, that's going to be the end of the video. And I'll see you guys on the next one. And go Buckeyes! OHIO!